Welcome back, everybody, to the Online Battle podcast. We're going over episode 7, I think.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and get your guys' ups and downs first, whoever wants to go first.
Down would be Fan Guy, and up would be Q and Dillion.
Why?
Oh yeah, right. So down for Fan Guy only because he is losing people left and right. So Days and Meg went home, and Dot also went home. So he really has Aspen and Mike, but Mike is double dipping 100%. And so I don't think Fan Guy has many people on his side. He might be able to navigate through talking and making amends with Treasure in them, but I definitely have to put him down because he is technically on the lower end of it. For ups, Dillion and Q, only because I think that Dillion has now played his game his way and still has people on his side. And he's continuously getting rid of people that would want him gone, just like Dot and Megan Dazed. And then Q, yeah, she's navigating herself really well these past few weeks. So, yeah.
Dee, who's up and down for you and why?
Based on what I did see, I would say up would be Dillion and Q because they was at the bottom at first and they just worked their way up to the top like that. And for down, I'm gonna have to say Aspen due to the fact that she was already a target before this episode. So I think if she's not saved the next time, she will probably get eliminated.
We will start with the elimination with Treasure and Kelsey defeating Dazed and Meg. We get an applause from Dee. How did you all feel about that win?
Great.
Or that loss?
I felt wonderful. It's one thing I can't stand is when people think they just the shit and they just get put in the ass. I love that so much.
Well, it's good karma because I'm pretty sure Meg and Days are the ones who said that Kelsey and Treasure weren't that good at challenge. Well, Kelsey at least wasn't that good at challenges, right?
They said about Treasure too. I believe Days had a quote earlier in the season where Days was like,
saying ISO players, exactly.
Well, no, but they said early in the season that if he's in a challenge, he wants it to be against Treasure because he thinks he could beat Treasure.
There we go.
That was dumb anyway because she won the challenge for Fan Guy. So
yeah, I mean, she is winning all challenge. Like she has the most wins in challenges. No, I think it's really good karma. Honestly, I was also surprised because I was like, I know Meg is a really good gamer, and I know Days is very competitive too. So I was like, maybe they could actually pull out a win. But honestly, Treasure and Kelsey killed the challenge really well.
I was literally cheering.
Yeah, I was really happy. I was really happy for them. They went through a lot.
Now, there's been a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's been some hurt feelings during this game. What are your guys' thoughts? We've talked about this before, but what are your guys' thoughts on some of the hurt feelings?
I'm fighting them for making Kelsey cry. I'm physically
right. Oh my gosh.
Do not make my wife cry.
Kelsey, I think it's so interesting because it's so genuine how she's behaving right now. And yet, this is probably the best move. If you were to force a move or fake something, this would be the time to cry it out, right? And get everyone on your side. But I know she's completely genuine, and I'm saying if you were to play everybody, right, this would be the time to do that, and she did it. And so her genuine emotions and reactions are actually pushing her further because one, most people will want to work with her moving forward and not hurt her again. Two, she's already eliminating people who are trying to get her out. So it's she's sitting really pretty. So yeah, it's a lot that happened, and I like how they kind of talked it out. Q and everyone, they were they all mentioned how okay, if what are some boundaries that we can't pass in this game. It's really genuine because I feel like that never happens in the shows that we watch on TV. It's never broadcasted if they were to do that, right? So the fact that we're able to watch them discuss how to navigate each other and not hurt each other personally is brilliant to me. I think it's really heartwarming and really genuine.
The storm is ramping up and it's making me nervous for my internet, but I'll try and continue. So you guys talked about Fanguy losing allies, but he did win his first leader. Do you think he needs to keep winning leader challenges at this
Oh
point?
yeah. Oh yeah, he has to keep winning. I mean, every single person left needs to keep winning. It's just there's not many people left. There's going to be 3 leaders or maybe 2. I don't know if that's going to wind down, but there's not enough players to go around. And like in this week, Aspen saved herself, so there was literally only 3 options to choose from. So it's like we're getting to that point where you kind of have to win. It doesn't matter who you're with and who you're aligned with. You kind of have to win at all times. So actually, honestly, Fanguy probably did a good job this week in terms of winning leadership and trying to work into next week. But I think at the moment, socially, he's probably doing the least because of all his allies going out.
Didi, how do you think Fanguy navigated as a leader? Well, I guess you didn't get to watch the entire episode, but he stayed loyal to Mike in that he told Mike in the last time that he wouldn't throw him in if he was a leader, and he didn't.
It was a good move.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was good because, like, even still, he has Mike. I don't know if he has the numbers, but he's sort of kind of working with him. That's why I said Aspen went down, because Aspen is at the bottom. At least Fanguy is not at the bottom. He's like tangential to the bottom.
Yeah, understand. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Aspen had too much time to like. She had too much time off of the show, and like. Now she has that safe thing too. It's just her target is like even higher.
And she won her other season.
And she won. She's the only one in that season that's won. Yeah. No, she has 3 strikes, and for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be rough for Aspen.
Q also won later again. How do you guys think she navigated as a leader this week?
Q can do no wrong. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Q can do no wrong in the way she plays her game. I think in the beginning, there was moments where I was like, okay, you're not in a great spot. But so far, these past few weeks and rounds, she keeps winning first, and she has not touched the elimination challenges at all. And I don't know. I mean, if she keeps doing what she's doing and getting in the top 3 of every challenge, like, it's going to be hard to take her down. But I will say that once she isn't a leader, I know for like mostly like 99% she will go in, because it's just glaringly obvious that she needs to be targeted. And she doesn't have like a number 1 per se that will be willing to help her out in these situations. So she does need to start like figuring out a plan B if she doesn't win a challenge or win the leadership.
Now, there was a tie. Somehow they managed to tie. Mike and Kelsey tied for 3rd, but then Kelsey beat him in the tiebreaker. Now, how do you think this worked out for Kelsey? Because, I mean, Q and Fanguy weren't going to vote Mike, so she basically had to vote between DeLeon and Treasure. But how do you think this leadership turned out for her?
Well, I think it gave her a breather because she had a rough week beforehand. So her edging out a win to be the 3rd leader is actually pretty good for her, like at least mentally in the game. She can reset and reconfigure how to move on. But also she's connecting with other players in a way that she wouldn't if she wasn't leader. So I think she is pretty good, and I think she'll be safe for the next week, honestly. I think if she was being targeted, it would only be from Aspen, probably. So yeah, I think she worked pretty well.
Now, it didn't work out, but what did you guys think about Fanguy and Aspen still trying to keep it together?
That's dumb.
I think it's dumb too.
Anything with Dot attached to it is just for failure.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Dot.
But you're not helping his case because he voted for Chris Brown earlier, and I think that gives a win to Usher just by him voting for Chris Brown.
Okay, I will accept.
What?
I will accept that vote.
Wait, what is this Chris Brown versus Usher thing?
Chris Brown versus Usher in a versus battle.
And why are we picking Chris Brown?
We talked about it.
Because Chris Brown is the light.
Pretty dark. I would say it's pretty dark. Like his history is pretty dark. But anyway, um, being in an alliance with Dot is kind of like a dying, it's a sinking ship at this point, and almost any alliance. When he, this sounds so salty, but when he jumped on to join the cleaners in the previous season, that made the army look even bigger. And so that started just dying. And in this season, it's a very similar thing. He's joining up with this huge alliance. He says numbers matter. His whole motto is, there's power in numbers. And each week it just falls apart, it crumbles. This time he kind of made it happen himself. So I don't know why Fangai is so keen on joining this ship to sink, but I mean, Dot is now gone, so possibly Fangai might pivot. And I think he's doing that with Q and Mike and Treasure, hopefully, but I don't know. I mean, it's just not a good look. Survival, the whole cast of Survival being on this season is just, it's going downhill really quickly.
Now you guys are saying that Aspen is like down at the bottom, but she's good at developing relationships. Do you think she's developed a strong enough relationship with either? Well, she already has one with a Fangai, but what about with Mike?
Here's what I'll say about both Aspen and Fangai, because I know Didi said Aspen's on the bottom and I said Fangai. I think they're both really good at playing from the bottom or playing from a big target standpoint. The thing is, now that we have, what is it, 9 people left, 8 people? I think around that number.
I think it's just 7.
Oh, 7. I think that Aspen could be a target, but Aspen could also be overlooked again because there's clear relationships within everyone else that is becoming like blockages of votes, right? So Kelsey, Dillion, Treasure is one, and Q is part of that. There's a lot of complicated relationships that Aspen could easily be like, okay, well, I don't have anybody, so what's the point of taking me out when there's 6 of y'all that are completely connected to each other? So Aspen could easily play that and turn it around. Same with Fangai. But we shall see.
If she would have asked that question, I would have been like, because you don't have anybody. That's why.
Good point, but then she could probably easily say, well, then after me, you could be on the bottom of that or something like that. I don't know how she'll play it, but she could totally do that, I think she could, she has the skill to like push down people and make them reconsider, I guess.
Didi, a couple of weeks ago, you said you wanted Mike to flip. He needed a flip because he was on the bottom, and he started that flip last week. And this week, he continued to flip by trying to get closer to Treasure and Kelsey and with them.
Yeah.
How do you feel about his position right now, Didi? Do you think it's better?
It's better. Like in the other group, he was like, okay, in this group, he's still at the bottom, sort of, kinda, but he's like downstairs. Like the other group, he was in the basement. So he's up a little bit. So I still like it.
Yeah, he's living in the main house. He's not living in
the he's not like a delinquent or anything.
I understand that. Yeah. No, I think Mike actually has the most connections to everybody at this point because he has the Petty Alliance. He has Q and Dillion as like a 3. Then he has Aspen and Fangai still wanting to work with him because they have no one else to turn to. And Kelsey and Treasure don't see him as a threat right now. Like they want the Fangai or Aspen gone first. So Mike is in the best middle position at the moment, which is really, really a good testament of his playing skills because he was at the bottom for a long ass time and he was a glaring target for everybody for like the first 2 or 3 votes. So he's done a really good job at navigating the space and being in the middle, completely in the middle.
Now, Dillion wanted to vote for Aspen, but that was Q and Mike that kind of turned it to go more towards Dot.
Yeah.
You're making a face, Didi. Why? Said you're making a face. Why?
Oh, because I'm trying to think. Did I see this part?
You should have.
Oh, that's when they were arguing.
No, it's more, or it was more like when this is when Dillion is talking to the leaders about putting in Aspen instead. It's a Petty Alliance talk, I think, and yeah.
Basically, like Dillion's kind of pushing for Aspen, but Mike says he'll vote for Aspen. He'd prefer Dot, and then they think that maybe if they throw in Dot, then they have a better chance of Mike not getting voted in by Kelsey and Fangai.
Yeah. That's a really smart move by, I think Mike controlled this week absolutely, because he not only saved both his Fangai Aspen thing and his Petty Alliance thing, he did it in a way that no one thought that he was doing that. Like they just thought he was looking out for himself. Well, I mean, he is, but he looked at all aspects and was able to save everybody, or tried to at least, and he tried to make it look like he was helping each alliance somehow, and it was just like a lot of lies basically, and a lot of deceit. But also, did Aspen already play her save card? Like if they voted in Aspen, would that have been null? Like would that not have worked?
No,
In
that she would have been voted in because she has to play it before.
the leaders? No, I was like, does she play the card? Does she play the safety before the public vote too?
She could have if she wanted to do that, but since she didn't, if they would have voted for her, she would have been in.
Oh, so she played it after.
She played it before the leader vote.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I thought she played it the entire round. Like, wow. Okay.
I wouldn't even thought of to doing that. I didn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was fine.
Well, that's
Can I
how it
ask a
worked. I didn't think
question?
I explained it, but yeah.
Have you ever seen this big ass Fruit Loops before?
What is that?
It's a Fruit Loop.
It is. That's like a. That is a glaze. That is a
Like-
powder donut.
Yeah, those are pretty big.
That's a powder donut, dude. that's literally a powder donut, just a little bit smaller.
I'm gonna get
That's
another
crazy.
bag.
So Fat Guy tried to salvage his social game a little bit. He had a good conversation with Q where they basically see things the same, but Fat Guy likes control, Q likes chaos. Any thoughts on that conversation?
I don't know if they see the chessboard the same, because I don't see it that way. However, it's very interesting because those two clearly are probably the more like thinkers of the cast. They analyze the group dynamics a lot, so it is interesting that Q didn't like him from the start. Probably because either he's too similar in that aspect, or she just knows to like not trust someone who's doing what she's doing, like analyzing really well. So, I mean, it's a good observation, but I don't know if they see the chessboard exactly the same way. Because I think Fangai is more than willing to be in a big alliance until it doesn't suit him anymore. Whereas Q would rather die before she ever gets into a big alliance.
I think it's more so that they see the bigger picture the same way. They just implement it differently, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they both have a very interesting mindset on trying to win, so that might be a similar thing on how to get there.
Well, I'm going to speed it up in case we have some guests. But so Dot is voted in. Kind of takes it a little
He takes
bitter,
everything.
Dot could be.
If he's on the show,
I hope he's on the
we
show.
have to talk.
We'll
We have
see.
to
Did I
talk.
tell you that he messaged me?
He did.
For him when you
what?
posted the votes on our season, he messaged me on Instagram and said, "Why did you vote for me?" And
Why
I'm
did
like,
you?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, when he was voted out.
in the other show?
Because she was D was probably working with me more than him at that
I
point.
flipped the coin. I don't know.
Oh, really? It was a flip coin.
No, I just voted for him.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I guess my question is, was Dot pussy popping out of trying to confront Q? I guess that was the big
Define
fire
pussy
during
popping.
this.
well, that's how Q coined it. That's her term, her definition.
I think it's more so
Like all over the place. You're like in everyone's faces. You're like,
Oh, slanging.
well, not
Like slanging.
yes, that's what I saw it as.
No, I think she was trying to say that he was bringing up that she was doing all these things, but then he's backing out of explaining why he's doing it, basically.
But why would that be the term?
I was like, what?
In my opinion, when she says pussy pop, I'm thinking.
Well, because he's backing out of
I'm thinking when I think of pussy popping, I'm thinking like you're like out there, like what I'm
Like
saying?
you're getting around.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the way she was describing it, it was like he's going around trying to attack anyone he can to try to get a response. So like he was going after Treasure and Q. Like he was pussy popping everywhere. Like in that definition. at
And
least,
slanging at the same time.
Yeah, he was ass slanging. Yeah, he was whoring.
I'm gonna message Q.
We're gonna get a live reaction. Like, what is the actual definition? But
Yeah, I don't know.
my response is that I think Dot. So this happened a month after our season, right, Didi? So I have a feeling that he regrets the way he played the first time. But I don't know if he ever tried to like adjust it, right? So I think he was trying to play that sociable player without getting caught again for the second time around. And this time it just worked out even worse for him. Like, I think, he left at 7 and he left our group at like 5 or 6 too. Like, it's literally around the same time. Like he was playing so sociable that it eventually everyone's going to be like, you like me? Like you want to work with me, but you're working with everyone here. Then that's why he gets exposed. So I feel like he played a very similar game, and also used a lot of things kind of wrong in a way. Like it wasn't really like the best move. So this last blow up, I think it was actually like way worse than like any other move that he could have done. I just feel like it just didn't help. It didn't make anyone look at anyone else differently. So there's nothing accomplished there. Like the pussy popping was not a success. It was not a success. It was a little wild and chaotic. And yeah, I do feel bad though, because I feel like he had nowhere to turn at that point. His ship was really sinking. Like
He wasn't on the ship. He was on like a rowboat or something.
he was on the plank.
Well, he went over in the last round.
You said what?
Said he went overboard.
Yeah,
in the last round.
he's Jack. He jumped over, and he's not on the plank. He's just swimming with it. Like he's freezing to death. But yeah.
So quickly, they decide to vote in. Well, Aspen used her save. She saved herself. They decide to vote in Treasure because Q thinks that Treasure could beat Dot because she's been winning challenges. She does. We're gonna bring in Dot and Meg here soon.
Oh my god!
On Dot's elimination.
It's a reunion.
When he come in, I'm gonna start laughing.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions. This podcast will not end. I promise you.
All right. Well, I might as well just bring them in for the show.
Alrighty.
Oh,
It's our reunion. Another unofficial reunion. Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo.
How's it going?
What up, squad? Shout out Survival.
Reunion.
Together again.
Yay. What up, y'all?
Yeah, we have the same
We
thing.
literally just pulled into my beach house, so my kids are gonna get out of the car. It's gonna be a little noisy for a second.
It's all
No
good.
problem.
Alex, stop looking in my room, bro.
It's right next to you.
Hey man, don't look back there, bro.
I got a filter and everything.
I need to have one of them green screens. Y'all don't know what's going on back there.
Your room is pink, hot pink, and I'm just looking at everything.
Hey, don't worry about my vibe, man.
No,
Don't
I
worry
like
about
the vibe. I like the vibe.
Oh, thank you then.
I do like the vibe. Yeah.
Well, Alex said he has many questions, but before we get to those, I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
go
Sure.
back to the very beginning.
I'm
I always
sure.
like to go back to the very beginning. Let's talk about the Survival Alliance, I guess.
You
That was kind of-
two-time and sleazy.
Oh my god!
Pussy popping and stuff.
Man, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started with all that.
Every time. And then you want to cheat on Meg? Really? You
Bro,
gonna
Meg, no, I'm faithful as fuck. I would never cheat on
Meg
Mama Meg.
number one. You gonna
She
do her
knows.
like,
She knows I would never do it. She
Before
knows I
we
would never
get
do it.
here to the pussy popping,
okay.
I want to go to Meg.
Oh my
Why-
gosh.
Just explain why the Survival Alliance came together at the beginning, please.
Yes, please.
I knew as soon as I knew Dot was playing, I knew that he and I were gonna be together.
Right.
And then I knew when it was him, myself, and Q, and we were the only people from our season, that we would likely work together to some extent, since we had the smallest group out of the other games that were involved. We had the less people, or the least amount of people. And then honestly, it comes down to Monet kind of saying that she was coming in with biases, and the way that she formed that first team, I mean, I think we were all on the same page that we felt like she really split it up. So then we all just kind of came together and we were like, all right, I guess it's, you know, survival people versus isolation people. But completely unknowingly to us, that the isolation people did not know that that was happening,
Nope.
which ended up
Fools.
not working for us.
Yeesh.
From the beginning, you were in the alliance, but you kind of felt like you needed to find your place of what alliance you actually wanted to be a part of. Did you just never find your place of what alliance you wanted to be a part of? That
Yeah, like I felt like I was moseying around, but I feel like it was tough. You know, there were so many strong personalities with people that were fighting with everybody, people like changing sides back and forth, and there was just so much chaos that I didn't really feel comfortable. Like that wouldn't happen to me if I partnered up with you. You know, like Deleon, I partnered up with Deleon, say the wrong thing, next thing you know, you're on his target list. You know, so so yeah, I mean, I felt like out of everybody, Kelsey and Treasure were the most like, outside of Meg, of course, were the most like down to earth and maybe something could happen. But I just felt like it was so late in the game. And let's look at looking back and watching all the conversations people were having with Kelsey, and everybody was trying to get her on their side. It was like, yo, I didn't stand a chance. Like I was the last one to pitch myself, and she was pretty much done hearing pitches at that point. So yeah, I just didn't really feel like, you know, being a part of something with Mike and Dazed and Fanguy and knowing how strategic they are and how they'll like turn on you just like that if they need to. You know, there wasn't really room for me to ally with anybody but Meg strongly.
We were also kind of at an advantage because we had the ability to watch Online Survival Season 1, and we were watching Isolation as we were recording this. So we already kind of had an idea of who these other players were. So like Dot said, like, you know, we were seeing what was going on, but then I'm also watching like the way Deleon's playing Isolation, the way, you know, Kelsey and Treasure are playing Isolation, and we're like, you know, why don't we just stick with that advantage? And, you know, we know each other. And then we also know the way that the survival people played, which is why I came into the game not really trusting Mike right off the bat before, you know, really even having conversations with him. But we did not use that advantage to the best of our abilities.
Meg, you've said this to me during this the challenge podcast. I think that you wish you would have gotten closer to Deleon. Why?
I think Deleon is a straight shooter, and I do actually kind of like the way that he plays the game. He is strategic in the way that he plays, but he's also honest, and I think that he is a loyal player the same way that I like to play, where if I tell you something, I try to really stick to my word with that, and I feel like he does too, unless he feels like you really did him wrong. And I didn't realize when I was playing that Deleon like had good feelings about me or enjoyed our conversations after we talked. So I really wish that I would have explored that relationship further and to see where kind of that could take me. I was really trying.
Oh no.
We've lost Meg.
He just froze.
I need to know what she was trying.
Yeah, what? Yeah, she was like, I was really trying.
That is a pretty picture though, like the way it froze.
I know, right? It wasn't like a bad.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
man.
not bad. Like,
Always camera.
Oh, there
off.
she is.
You cut
We
out for a
didn't hear
while,
you.
Meg, so we
We
did.
didn't
You were trying to do what?
Can she hear us?
Yeah. Did you not hear me?
No, yeah, you cut off
heard
at
the
that
half.
point. You were trying to do something.
We have to
I
try
was
to.
trying to build a good relationship with
Oh.
Treasure.
Okay, there we go.
Speaking of Treasure and Kelsey, why do you think they were so underestimated in challenges?
You really,
Because their personalities weren't booming. There were so many, like, you know, between Fanguy, Mike, and then Meg, you know, Fanguy, Days, and I know Days isn't that great at competitions, but like you kind of group people who are great at competitions with people who are talking big games and people who aren't afraid to make enemies. Because like, all right, go ahead and send me to the, you know, to the bottom. I'll just pull myself out, you know. So I mean, I think I underestimated both of them too. You know, I didn't expect them to be killing challenges the way they were. I mean, shoot, Treasure sent me straight to the gallows, and I didn't expect it to be 16-6 or whatever it was. That was a massacre. But
I would have done amazing at that
Yeah,
time.
I was guessing stuff, and I was like, "No, why are you not guessing it?"
yeah,
I
that was tough.
was
Even though watching it back the second time, I was like, I still don't know what these answers are. like I can't even remember. Like,
Oh, it was
it
trivia.
was tough. I was getting the same stuff wrong I got the first time.
Arizona was bad though. I don't know why that was
Yeah.
not a good one.
She killed me with that pets.
Pets,
Man, she got like 6 points in one. It was pretty much over at that point. Y'all were just fighting, scrapping
Yeah.
for something.
You were winning the
Shit.
beginning. You were ahead.
It was too long of a game, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Meg, Q said she felt forced to work with you guys because of the way the game started because of Monet. Did you guys feel forced to work with her as well, just because you knew her?
I don't think that I felt forced. I think that I truly did want to be on better terms with Q and see how we could work together. But it's very obvious that I wasn't over what had happened in our previous season. But this was recorded like pretty soon after our season ended.
A month and a half.
right?
So
Yeah.
it was still a fresh wound for me. And I think she even said it too, I didn't do really anything to her. So it wasn't that difficult for her to move on from it, but it was definitely a fresh wound for me. And I tried to tell her in one of the chats that you showed, listen, I'm trying to trust you. I want to work with you, but I still do kind of feel this like feeling of untrustworthiness from you. And I'm trying to work through that. I was trying to be honest with her. And instead of her kind of being like, listen, I understand, but I promise you, like, I'm not, stabbing you in the back at this point in the game, at least. But she was just like, sorry, girl, you got to get over that shit. Like, there was no empathy, like she didn't understand kind of where I was coming from at all. And I was trying to be honest with her about the way that I was feeling to help our relationship and maybe help me get over that, to have a conversation with her about it. But she didn't like that I wasn't over it. And I mean, she got me again.
What do you both feel about Days being the one that, argued with her and then said that this is the way you played in your first season, and then that's what kind of pissed her off, I guess.
Oh, Dazed.
So, like, I felt like this happened a lot of times in the show because I was a part of this huge alliance with like 8 people. Anytime, but like, okay, but like, to be real, me and Meg were together and we were kind of like, we were riding until we saw what happened. Like, we had no reason to not say yes or to not vote their way. Like, until we
I have
did.
a question about that. Did y'all not believe Q when she told y'all that before?
Told us what?
That y'all were at the bottom.
No, I believed it. I was always looking for a new group.
Oh, you didn't believe in it?
I knew that Fanguy and Dazed were each other's number ones, but I also had a really good relationship with Fanguy. So I didn't think that, I figured Dot would go before me as far as that like hierarchy went. But I thought I was higher than what Q was making it out to be. And I mean, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I honestly couldn't tell you now,
Right.
I knew they were each other's number ones, but Dot was my number one. So I couldn't fault them on that. But I definitely thought I was like final 3 with Dazed and Fanguy, if that's what it came down to.
I mean, whenever we were doing our Survivor season, I watched most of the podcasts where it was Dazed, Fanguy, and Aspen, and sometimes Mike talking about our season, and it really showed me how strategic they are. Like, like just them breaking down our stuff and talking about what we did wrong, what we should have done. I was like, man, like I didn't even think about 3 levels ahead. So I knew just like there's like this group of them, like Mike, Fanguy, Days, and like that are playing this brain game. And yeah, they want to be down with me, but also I'm realizing they want to be down. They said they want to be down with everybody, so that doesn't really do me much good. I know that like I can only roll with this group until I'm disposable. Yeah. So I know this, but the thing is, Q, she just wanted to jet faster. Like all of us, me, Meg, and Q all knew that we needed to leave at some point, but Q wanted to leave before us, and she was fed up with it way before I was.
And that was okay. That was okay.
But like, no, yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, not really. I mean, she's over here pretending like, she's being loyal, this and that and that, and like, people are calling her a mole, and she's like, when did I mole? When did I mole? But like, she moled, like she went and told Kelsey all about our alliance and all this stuff, and even admitted to it. So it like
she did, but
so-
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay if you want to extend out and form relationships with other people. You have to do that, which is something that we aren't very good at.
To be
But-
fair, when Q told Kelsey, Dot, you were also having conversations with Kelsey and Treasure. I think everyone branched out. It's just that Q at that moment, she was hearing a lot from everybody. Everyone was telling her that you were snitching and you played crazy last game. Like, so I think in her perspective, she jumped ships because she realized she was on the bottom and everyone's talking about her and making decisions
But
without her.
Alex, going back to Nick's original question, I don't think it would have been that bad had Dazed
Yeah,
kept his
no, I agree.
and not
I
gone back to
agree.
Q and been like, oh, how you played in your last game, because where did he get that from? The two
Agreed.
people she played the game with,
She was
and
thinking of jumping, but Days
Fair.
really was the catalyst for her to just be done completely with all of you guys. Because I think she, in her head, is loyal to you two to like until the end. It was just because of what Days said specifically, like that turned her away. And no, I honestly do personally believe that Q would be loyal to you two for sure.
Where did that
It
come from
just-
anyway?
What?
Like, I forgot who
it
said
came
it.
from a conversation that he had with Dot and myself, where we made a comment about how, just keep it in your mind. We don't know how much we can trust Q. Like, how far do
Yeah.
we want to let her get? Because we know what kind of player she was, or we didn't work well with her. I don't even think we said she was manipulative or anything like
We
that.
didn't
He
say
put
that.
words in our mouth in
Well,
the conversation
I
with
think
her.
Dot did say something.
I probably did. Shit.
Dot said something
Probably.
about this is how she played the last game, and then I think that's why.
I mean, she
Oh,
was
you
the same
said
I don't
thing.
think Meg
She
said
did the
that.
same fucking thing as
You
last
said
time.
she was
The
switching
same thing.
sides. That I remember.
She was. I mean, she was.
I mean, she never switched sides in the first season,
Okay. Wait, what?
right?
Oh, in the first
Oh, she-
season.
no,
Because
she
you said
never-
that's how exactly how she played.
Well, I'm
I
talking
mean-
about the chaos. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean, no, she is
whenever things
chaotic.
aren't going her way, she starts points like, "Bow, Aspen's doing this. Bam, Dot's doing this. Bam, Meg's doing this. So don't worry about me. Look at all them."
Yeah, it's a
the same
strat.
thing.
It's definitely
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
same
it
thing.
is, that is a
Yeah.
That's her
strategy.
gameplay, though. That is her gameplay, is to
That
call
is.
out everybody else's game.
And it's
Yeah.
cool. Like, I respect the hell out of somebody because like that's the opposite of my game. I don't just
Yeah.
call people out left and right. Like, she's
Yeah.
not afraid to get in a fight with somebody, and she's confident that she can still progress forward, and she always does.
She
So,
always does.
Just like everybody else, I got mad respect for Q. Like, she's a great player. She's better than me. Shit, like I can say that confidently. But that was kind of my point. Well, first of all, I want to say she like, it's okay. I feel like all of us are making friends with other people in the game, so we had to get to know other people. But we were having private conversations with our alliance, and she was going to the other side and telling them what was being said in those conversations. And that's why people were saying she was a mole, and that's why people were like, "Yo, we can't trust Q," and we couldn't. Like, she was moling. So that's number one. And two, it's like, y'all gotta understand. I had no idea. People were telling me that Q and Days are beefing, but like, I didn't see that chat. Like, I didn't know that they're going back and forth, and he's like, "You're awkward," and like, I don't notice. So like, you gotta understand, like, Q she's not feeling so good about the mega group and this and that, which, like, why join a mega group if you don't like mega groups? But that's another conversation.
She
But-
didn't.
I mean, she did. She was rolling with us.
Well, she called everybody.
She was a part of our alliance.
She
and then
named
she went,
three
and then
people.
and then she went.
She
and
wanted
then
to
she
be
went
four,
around.
not
Yeah, she
bad
wanted
guy
to
in
be
that
But
four.
she wanted it that way, but she was in the alliance. Like, let's not play. She was
Really?
She was
she really in the alliance?
she
she
was
was.
in it. She
No,
was
she
in
was.
it.
She
She
was.
was in it the same as I was. She was being
was.
more vocal about how much she disliked things that she
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
I dislike things that I saw too. But she just
made
she
a
wanted to
comment
run out
to me.
faster. But hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. But like,
Okay.
that brings me back to my original comment that, like, the group was so big that anytime anybody made a move, I got associated with it. So Q got into a fight with Days, and she's like, "You know what? Fuck that whole side. I don't want to roll with any of them." And I don't know that they're beefing that hard, but like, now you're mad at me, and I got nothing to do with, like,
But that's how big alliances work. You get
That's
handcuffed to the
exactly how
alliance.
big alliances work. That's why I never.
Hey,
did.
your
I would
your
never
boy's
join-
learning. Your boy's
Three
learning
is
shit.
many.
I'm
Oh
trying
no,
to
you
power
are.
on
Yeah,
this
for
game.
sure, for sure.
You're
giving Mama some
learning
power.
because every time that, do you realize that you go to the bigger alliance in every game that you played in?
I go to the best alliance. I go
Is
to
it the
the.
best?
Is
Is it the best?
I
it
try
the
to.
best though?
I try to run with the people that I think have the best chance of helping me get to the end. Like I'm doing the same
Let
thing
me
that
If you
everybody's
get to
doing.
the
Let me
end,
defend
though,
Dot real
that-
quick.
Everyone is trying to do what's best for their game, and I'm doing the same damn thing.
No, Nick is
Like,
loving this. Nick is
Meg,
I
loving
don't know,
Meg, what do you want to say,
What
Meg?
you want me to say?
Oh,
Like I
Meg,
want to roll with a
Meg.
crew that I like. Shit.
I have two things that I want to say. First, I'm going to defend Dot right now, which he's not owed this at all because Dot completely ruined my game, but I
Sure
love
did.
him
Sure did.
until the day I die. Dot started last season Survival 1 with me and Jake on like day 2 without ever having a face-to-face conversation with us. So I will say that Dot didn't switch sides. Alex, he was always fully with me and Jake before he was fully with Team Done or whatever your team name was and you guys. He was I believe, Dot, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were your secondary alliance, but you, Jake, and I solidified at least working together, the three of us, right off the bat when me and Jake won that first competition. So
Right.
I'll defend Dot that he's not as much of a flip-flopper as you all call him out to be because he did stick with me and Jake the first season. And second, going back to Q, she made a comment to me in one of our chats that she was mad that Dot and I were not requesting chats with her. And that's why she felt at the bottom. That's why she felt we weren't really working with her anymore. But I don't understand, and I still don't understand. So maybe when she watches this, she can speak on that. But I don't understand why it was my responsibility to request those chats. Because just like her, I also have to request chats with other players
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
And she wasn't requesting chats with me either. So I don't, I could have said the same thing, which it did make me paranoid. You're not requesting to talk to me in Dot. You're not requesting to talk to me one-on-one.
Good point.
The only time we did was when she wanted to confront me about not requesting chats with her. I mean, the alliance with Q was broken from the beginning. We tried to make it work. It didn't work. It's never going to work. We're just very different players. I have the utmost respect for her as a person. I have nothing bad against her. I think she's super intelligent and a great game player. We just don't play the same kind of game. We're not going to be able to play together.
Yeah, asshole though.
Well, I have to get to this vote, Dot. What was going through your mind when you decided that you're gonna vote for
Yo.
Meg? Third vote.
Yo, so if you don't follow me, don't follow me. That ain't no problem. All right. But I think we all knew that the leaders wanted to get out, what was it? Fan Guy and Dazed, right? So I was like, really, there's no reason to vote for them because they're already gonna get voted out, right? And then I'm left with my alliance, right? Where I'm at the bottom at. And then I have pretty much Treasure and Kelsey, which they don't, I didn't make the edit for the 4-way the conversation I had with Kelsey and Treasure, but I was pretty much like, yo, I don't trust my team. I want to work with y'all. Like,
okay.
I'm like, I'll tell you about the alliance. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll tell y'all who's lying. But like, I want to work with y'all because like these other people can't be trusted. And like, y'all are the only people I feel like are kind of, we're on the same level, So we go into the vote, and the first vote, Dazed is it's between Dazed and Kelsey. And I'm like, I'm not going to vote Kelsey because I actually want to take her somewhere. So I vote Dazed, even though I'm like, y'all don't really want to, And the second time, I mean, I even said in the show, I was like, I made a mistake. I should have just voted Dazed again. But you got to understand, like, y'all be in the game. It's stressful, man. Shit changes so quick, and you have a vote, and everybody changes their mind, and things don't happen the way it's supposed to. So, just like everybody said, I was confident by who was voting that Meg wouldn't get eliminated. Like, Fan Guy wasn't going to vote out Meg. I didn't consider Kelsey backing up my vote because she was salty about Meg voting out Kelsey. But I knew she was safe. And y'all got to understand, for me, the only people I have problems in the game, I've been saying, I don't like Mike, I don't like Q, and I don't like DeLeon. He's too rambunctious. Those are the 3 leaders.
So why
those are 3 leaders. So you got to understand, I'm cool with everybody else in the game. I don't like, for me, because it's such a rambunctious game, I'm still trying to stay under the shadows. I'm not trying to draw first blood with Fan Guy or Days or something like that, because like they're
But
they're
you
war
drew
they're war
first
players.
blood with me.
But
Yeah,
I told you I would though.
not
I
at
did-
the third vote.
No.
Not at the third vote.
Right. I know.
No.
I told you I would later. So like I know that's why I was so stressed when I did it. But like I said, I knew that you wouldn't get eliminated. I knew that you wouldn't be mad at me because you wouldn't
I
understand my
did.
vote.
She was mad at
Who
you.
said-
But you didn't get the
Get
vote.
mad at
I was like,
you.
oh,
Like,
Meg is mad.
But the vote didn't go your way. Like,
Right, but the reason that the leaders voted me is because of the shenanigans that you pulled, in addition with my
Right.
reaction to it.
They all
I
thought it was
agree.
an MU award-winning
And
performance.
I can't apologize enough for tanking your game with my decision.
Ooh.
Like that, it happened immediately. So I was like, yeah, that was obviously because of me. So like I'm
Yeah.
like, be like right after the game, I apologized to Meg. I was like, yo, I fucked up. I fucked you over, So looking back, I would have just voted Dazed again, because like, he told me pretty much he wanted me to play for second, and I was like, if you expect me to do that, then I'm disposable to you.
I
You know?
don't think that's what he meant.
That's not what
though,
he
in that
meant.
Right.
conversation.
Looking back,
It
I
came
think
off
I
that
did
way.
take it. I did take it a step further than what he said.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
but
he was
I-
asking me to like pretty much bow out at the end of the game, and I was
Yeah.
like, yo. But
it's not
he
your fault that
didn't
you
say
took it that way, though.
But
Like
he
you took
didn't-
it however he came at you,
Right. I mean, it's looking back, I was wrong. To be honest, I know people don't like my vote. I still stand by it. I had no reason to draw any blood with any
Megan's
player.
like, Megan's like,
I'm sorry. I know it fucks you over. I'm so sorry. But as far as the vote goes, the vote still went Kelsey and Treasure. That's what everybody wanted to do. And it was my strategy to not vote Kelsey and Treasure, to show them, yo, I'm really for y'all, even though nobody else is.
But you should have
But they
shown
didn't
me
believe
that
it.
you were for me.
But
Yeah,
you know I'm for you. Is that even a question?
Really?
but everyone else
It
thinks
wasn't
that
that
it's
moment.
either. So there's only
But
okay.
you
There's only
wasn't.
Okay,
I
but like,
told you,
but y'all gotta
no,
understand.
Stop,
I
stop,
gotta play.
stop. Because when you brought it up to me that you were going to throw my name in there, I immediately was like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't feel comfortable with that. Don't do it. And you were like, no. I knew what your plan was. I knew that you wanted to do it, but you specifically told me you would only do it if you were like last one to vote. There was absolutely no chance. And that's not at all what you did. You voted me third. You
Right.
were third.
Right. And you
In that
asked
moment,
me.
you did not have me. You did not show
So,
me
Meg.
that I was your number one.
Right. And you asked me in that same chat, if you're one of the first people to go, what are you gonna do? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I did.
That's a logical
Okay,
answer.
so- Can I go back to?
I am sorry, but I can't apologize for making the move that I felt like was best for my game. I felt
No, I
like,
understand
I
that.
felt like Kelsey and Treasure was my future. Kelsey did also didn't make the cut, but Kelsey did really appreciate that I didn't vote for her. I did, like, if I would have made it further, I would have had a real ally there. Treasure, she didn't really take it as well as I wanted her to. You can't really control that. But like, also everyone reacted really badly to my decision. I can't control how people react to what I need to do. Like everyone's going at people, everyone's trying to protect people, everyone's doing what they want to do. If I need to make a move that's best for me, then I got to make that move. And
But
like,
here's the
if people don't like it, I can't. It's still the best move for me. Like I had no reason to draw any blood.
It's not. It's
But
not.
Nah,
But no,
it's
I
not.
believe that it was. I believe that it was.
It's not.
Yeah, you can
no,
believe
no.
that, but it's
You
not.
can't, because you know shit about Kelsey and Treasure. You know me as a person. So why would you risk me not being in the game to work to have them? Why are they your future? I was your future.
Right. Yeah. It was all three of y'all, because I knew that Fan Guy wasn't gonna
It
vote.
was me.
I knew that Fan Guy
was your
wasn't gonna vote
future.
you out.
Can I
knew that
ask
Fan Guy
one
wasn't
thing?
gonna vote you out.
So let's
Period.
go back to what Meg said about you're gonna defend Dot from last season, right? This is the thing. I think that Dot is loyal in a way, but he also plays in a way that he wants to make sure everyone is in his good graces, except for like a few people. And to me, that's not loyal, because in this example right here, he's loyal to you until he doesn't want to upset other people in the future. And so what happens? You get voted in, you get basically voted off because of what he did. So it's not about like it's loyalty, but in a way, I never said he's a flip-flopper. I always thought that Dot is a social player, and that's why I just could not actually trust him. You know what I'm saying? In the game. But like,
No,
that's what I'm saying. It's not loyal.
Don't
in
go off on you
a way.
again, Alex.
If he
Nah,
is
we good.
socially interacting with every player, how is that loyal? You know, Meg, this exact example just unfolded in front of you where he had a chance to save and not vote you the number one, and somehow you're out of the game.
Hold on, let me ask. Hold on, Nick. Hold on, let me ask. Who was not being a social player? Who wasn't going to every single person? Like, okay, I was going around talking to people, being cool with people, but I wasn't like, yo, let's ally, yo, let's ally, yo, let's ally. Players like Mike, players like Fanguy, literally, no, it was not. It was not. I'm literally just making relationships with people.
But that's the thing.
Literally, Mike and Fanguy are going to every single conversation being like, yo, I really want to work with you because you're cool and I like this and because it's that and that. Like, how are you going to say I'm not loyal just because I have other friends in the game when there are people
because they actually
saying the
draw,
same thing
they draw
in every
lines.
single conversation.
When it comes down to it, they draw lines and they are only going to protect them. Like, Days will only protect Fanguy and Aspen truly, and maybe Megan. But like, you, in a way, what you did in that specific episode, you didn't protect your number one when you told her that's like, you guys are tight. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this because Dot, I think, is right. I think the future was Kelsey, Treasure, Meg.
No, I'm right.
But
It's
your
not
vote was
really.
not right. The way you went about the vote.
But the voting was not right.
Hey man, I told y'all I made a mistake. I did make a mistake. I would have voted Dazed again if I could have. But like also,
I mean, I think that I also had a hand in it. If I didn't react the way that I did,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been that bad.
it was the full
But
package.
I
It was the full
will
package.
100% promise you, I was not acting. So I don't know where this like Emmy nomination's coming from. I don't know what fucking hair flip.
It's a
she
good
was
performance.
I think
That's
Dillian
what
did a good
was.
impression of you
A
too.
good, genuine
It's
performance.
just the thing. It's like I said, you can't control people's reaction to what you do or what they think about what you do. They were pretty much saying, you know, Dot and Meg are trying to convince us that they're not really friends and that now they're enemies and then this and that and that. I wasn't trying to convince anybody that. Like you're putting
that wasn't my goal with that
in my
either.
own mouth.
I was
you know what I'm saying?
legitimately caught off guard and
No, I
pissed
understand that.
off
Right.
and was just like, well, then I'm gonna vote for you too without even thinking. I should have voted for Days.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna vote for Treasure even with my name on the line because I told Treasure I knew Fanguy was not gonna vote me in. So I didn't need to throw it back at Treasure to save myself because I knew Fanguy was gonna vote for her over me, but I should have put my vote somewhere else
Yeah.
and not at that.
Yeah, I just think that voting, it doesn't keep you guys under the radar. It just does the opposite.
It went the opposite. Yeah.
Yes, it makes you guys targets.
Yeah.
and stuff.
You guys
Yeah.
weren't under the radar until that moment.
Yeah, I definitely would have voted Dazed again. I also like this game like really threw me off because there were so many strong like it was y'all gotta like it's great entertainment. It's great entertainment to see all the drama, but like being in those chats and watch everybody just berate each other, like it's no bueno, yo. Like it's tough to like sit back and watch that and like
It's
just
fun.
like watch all the ugliness, you know. So so towards the end of the show, I mean, Nick will tell you, I stopped doing my confessionals. So like you didn't really
Oh wow.
the last couple of episodes, you don't really see like the behind the scenes of like what I'm thinking and what's going on. Because like that's why I wanted to come on here and kind of like give my speech, my piece, because after me and Days have the conversation and he's like, yo, will you take second place? I'm like, yo, I'm obviously at the bottom of this alliance. Like, I need to make and Nick, even in the emails, like, yo, I don't know if you remember, Nick, you're like, if you're gonna make a strong move, now's the time to make it.
Oh.
Right. And I'm
Yo,
like, yo,
Nick
and I'm like, yo,
influences
and I'm like, yo, I can either go down with the ship like I did last season, or I can make a move. So, you know, I'm like, fuck Days Alliance. I'm gonna take Meg and Kelsey and Treasure and do my own thing, but I don't want them to know. But I don't want them to know
the
yet.
four of us in a chat together and talk about how we were going to pull this off.
I mean, I couldn't get all of y'all in the chat. I had one with you and Kelsey, and I had one with Treasure and Kelsey.
But see,
But,
I
like,
think
the-
it would have
the
worked.
four of
That's
us
why
never
I
had
think that was.
It could have worked.
Yeah, I know that.
See, even Q was trying to make it work,
I
and then
know
I
it
think
could've
Kelsey
worked.
and Treasure came around to it as well.
And honestly, maybe
Then the
it
vote
would have,
went
but
bad.
Kelsey was sketched out by Meg because you know rumors started going that Meg was after Kelsey.
So
and
many-
now again, it started being, well, I don't trust Meg and Dot because I heard this thing about Meg. And it's like, yo, I'm just like continue taking all this like drama because I'm tangential to it. And it was rough, man. It was rough
It's
for
a
you boys.
hard cast. You guys, it looks really
It was rough. Yeah, fuck the super team. I ain't doing that shit again.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's just too much. It's like we got to run the board for a while, and that was cool. And like I feel like it only works whenever you're rolling with a crew that you really trust, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, Days and Fan Guy had their own agenda. Next thing I knew, we're bringing in Mike. And I'm like, yo, I don't even want to bring in Mike. But now all of my moves are associated with Mike's moves. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, yo,
You
like
can't
we
trust
should have
that.
just like,
This is
There's
why
no- it's
big
not
alliances
possible.
are
and
not
and
good.
the biggest
Yeah.
the biggest thing was is that me and Meg were only like, you know, we were in it temporarily. We're like, yeah, we're in it, but like we don't like, you know, we're not planning on staying there forever. And because we were even in the area, everyone's like, oh, you know, Dot and Meg are ride or die with all of these other, you know, with
Rivals.
Fan Guy and all these people. And it's like, yo, we're rolling with them, but that's it. That's the extent, like that's the extent of our alliance.
I'm gonna
No,
go
and
with
that-
whatever
and that-
gets me the furthest in the
Right,
game. And at
and
that
that-
point, it was the numbers, you know, and why stray out and try to like cut down my numbers that I feel like have me at that point in the game. There was still a lot of people left.
There
This
was.
was only the first elimination after the bunker, so there was still a lot of game left to play. I wasn't really ready to start chopping at my numbers yet. I wanted like one more ISO person out, and then we can start turning on each other.
Yeah.
I
So
still
I,
think you're too loyal, though. Meg.
so-
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
am, but I don't know. That's just
Because you can't
I would
like
still, and I'll
people-
tell you right now, I would still be loyal to Dot. If Dot and I were ever in a game together again, I would still, he would
That
still
same.
have my loyalty.
same. I mean,
It's just- I don't know if
I don't have a
you
reason to hate
can't
you.
can't
but
trust-
Thank you.
too many people. Like I think Meg, you put a lot of faith in like big numbers because you guys are all together. And I think you will be loyal to all those people who are in your alliance.
That's the
But you gotta
problem.
remember every single person is playing their own game. And some people who are in that big alliance aren't for big alliances. Example Q, example like Mike, example
Right.
Fan Guy even.
Right.
Even Dot, like Dot was branching out too. So the thing is,
Mhm.
it's like you can't expect, like you can trust Dot, but you can't trust 6 other people and expect to roll with them until the end. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why Q jumped. And I think you guys could have jumped earlier too with her, and you guys might actually still be in it, all 3 of you guys.
I mean,
You know?
we were jumping. We just didn't jump.
It
as
wasn't
quick
out
as-
in the open.
We
You were
didn't
just
jump
you
as
were
we
tearing
didn't
tearing up
jump
the
as
band-aid a little too slow.
You were- yeah, you were standing on the edge.
But hold on, but is that to like is that because Q wanted to jump quicker? Because she only wanted to jump quicker because she got in the fight with Dazed. So like were
I
we
mean, yeah,
were
but
we
I
late?
mean,
She was
during your
already
vote.
like
edging to go though.
you know?
Well, she asked you guys, I think.
Right, but she became a lot more straight up. She was pretty much like fuck this team after
She was
Dazed.
trying
her
to
and Dazed got
tell you
after it.
to.
Yeah, I think she was. I
Right,
don't-
but she was only trying to say that because she disliked Fan Guy and Day so much.
I mean,
But it
it
was
benefits
true
her
what she
more than you
said.
two. I agree with that.
Right.
It's just when you try to jump that last time right before the big vote thing, I think what we're saying is that you ripped the band a little too slowly in
Right,
the sense
yeah.
that it didn't work out because you weren't able to create that actual decision. It made it seem like you were playing everybody, you and Meg were playing everybody, and it's a whole charade, and everyone should just fall for it. That's what happened, really. So
Yo, yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, we were
It's a lot.
chilling.
The
I'm a little, and I think this one got cut too. But I had a chat with the leaders before they took out Meg and Dazed, and I was kind of explaining. I was like, yo, like I just didn't want to draw first blood. Like I didn't want to draw blood for no reason. DeLeon, you got to understand. You did the same thing earlier in the game. Like you didn't want to draw blood either. He's like, no, the difference is this and that. And that. I'm like, there ain't no difference. Like, you know, and there, you know, you just you start getting attacked for things that like you're seeing other people do in the game, and I'm like,
oh
all
yeah,
right, like, but I mean that's how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Like DeLeon and Q have a lot of influence with their voice, and like
it's the way
if they
yeah.
want to attack you, they're gonna attack you no matter what, like no matter what is actually going on, you know. So all right,
Yeah.
so last
For
thing I
me,
want to say
it was
before
more,
flip
I
it
just
over.
felt like Q owed me. I feel like I deserved for her to keep me safe. I had kept her safe twice as a leader over everybody else in the game. When there were more people there and only one person was being saved, I made sure through conversation that she was one of the ones that kept safe. I didn't need to keep Dot safe. I didn't need to prove myself to Dot in that way. I felt like me keeping Q safe over Dot was proving myself to her, and she didn't return the favor. And I explained to the leaders before they voted me in, you can think what you want to think, but I was not putting on a show. I wasn't trying to make you think me and Dot were against each other. I honestly wasn't expecting it. So
Nobody asked
I
us.
guess you didn't like my response to it, but I'm not an actress. I'm a mother and a social worker. I do not have acting skills. So I wasn't putting on any
I
kind
know
of
you were
show.
almost on Sunset Beach, Meg.
It's just funny because
What?
they'll ask you
What'd
the
you say?
question.
So I know you're almost on Sunset Beach, Meg.
Sunset Beach.
It's an old soap opera.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's why I didn't know. That's
seriously?
why I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what?
You were gonna be on that show? I mean, then that means you're
I
an
was
actor.
18.
Well, there we go. You have this.
Oh, nice
I
resume.
didn't make it.
Oh, damn.
You
Yeah.
didn't make it. Well, you made it here.
So they would we would go on those chats. They would ask us, like, why did you make this decision? And we would give an honest answer. Like, no, what you were really trying to do was you were trying to fool us here. You were trying to
Oh
make
yeah,
us,
that was funny.
and it's like,
To be honest,
and it's like, yo,
even
like,
if you
if you're
didn't
gonna ask
react
me a
the
question,
same way,
you don't
Meg, I
have to
would have
believe
thought
my
the same
answer.
thing.
no,
would've thought
I
it was planned.
I get
I
it.
told them
I can
understand that it looks the way
Right,
that it
I
does.
can understand that, but like, if you're gonna ask me what I was doing and I give you an answer, don't tell me no, you
Kellyanne
were doing
did that.
this. It's like,
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't
even
do that.
don't even ask me that. Like,
no, he really that chat was awkward because they really did explain what Dot did and the psychology behind it after him explaining himself.
But we're not.
And it's really, I mean, that's just how they control narratives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah.
this game is very brutal in the sense that people twist words around, people make sure that they have control in the narrative. So it sucks because they asked you to explain yourself, you did, and they just went like, no, this is what actually happened.
No, I mean, that's what they did to me in my leader chat too. And I
Yeah.
did tell them, I completely understand that it looks the way that it looks. Of
Yeah,
course you
yeah.
feel that way. But I'm telling you that that was a genuine reaction for me. And I just spur of the moment threw it back at Dot without even, thinking about the game and what the best move to be or to make would be. And you should know that I am not a liar in these games. I don't go around like telling a bunch of people different lies. So, but she didn't believe me. And
She was the most betrayed out of that. She was like, she really lied to my face and like acted like she was gonna make this work and then didn't do it. Because her reaction when you did that, I watched her head tilted. She had a whole face like thing going. So yeah, she felt the most
I'm
betrayed.
not sure why Meg would be responsible for making sure that Kelsey and Treasure don't get voted out. It's like, I don't vote with Meg, so now Q's pissed that like I did something different. Like, Q never talked to me. Like,
That's true.
I didn't know that Meg and Q were having this serious conversation of like, yo, if like y'all don't do this, then like, oh wait, she did say that like if I don't fall in line, then Q was gonna vote me out. She did tell me
Yeah,
that.
Meg was in a very hard spot between Dot and Q in that vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
For sure.
Yeah, it was, everyone just has their own perspective and everyone believes what they believe. And some people take that information and some people spread it around. Some people take it to heart. Some people bottle it in, people just play the game differently,
For sure.
And unfortunately, like when you get on the bad side of DeLeon and Q and Mike, they're going to drag you through the mud, Joe. And pretty much there's nothing you can do about it, And that's why I was not trying to be on their bad side. I knew it was detrimental,
And now
so I just want to say, like in closing for me, like there's no like, and I do tend to play both sides, so I know that's a Dot quality. But I was not playing both sides here, not in this situation. I made a decision to leave Day's side to try to make friends, to try to ally with Kelsey and Treasure. But I did not want Days and Fanguy to know yet because I knew it would be war.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
too
agree with that. I think you needed to rip off the.
That's
clearly
Have y'all seen all the fights that Days and Fanguy got into? You want that to happen to me?
You get into fights
Like-
that you can handle yourself.
Bro, I'm not
Hey,
confrontational.
Alex, can we
I-
have
No,
a-
you're not. You're not.
I'm
Me
not
and Dot are
confrontational.
both not confrontational.
I'm
That's
not.
why we work
That
together.
is not
I just-
confrontational.
I just
I
get
think
pissed.
Elizabeth would disagree.
I just get pissed. I'm not confrontational, but I will say what I got to say when I got to say it. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
not confrontational.
I'm
That is
really
not.
not.
okay, no.
I'm
You
not
lie
at
so
all.
much.
I'm so
I don't think Dot
unconfrontational.
is
y'all, I don't
confrontational.
understand how you can think that I am. It's
I don't
crazy.
think Dot's confrontational because that's like he plays so he doesn't want people to know that he doesn't want to draw first blood.
I'm
He's
a
not
passive
confrontational.
player. I'm a passive
But when he-
player.
I'm
pissed.
not talking. I'm talking
He's
about in the
pissed.
game.
He
Like,
does. No, in the game, yeah, he's not confrontational until he gets really pissed towards the end. So like in our season, it was at the end. In this
Oh, so
season,
every time
Yeah.
he's about to go out, he gets confrontational.
Nah, it's
yeah,
like
but he's
whenever-
not
It's like
confrontational by
whenever-
nature.
It's like whenever I feel like people are fucking with me. You know?
Yeah, I was
Like-
fucking with you in the first.
Yeah, you were fucking with me, and I got
Fight with
pissed.
you
You
in
know?
that last
And-
vote.
Everybody.
And like, let's be real. Q's
What'd you
fucking
say,
with me.
Meg?
Q's fucking with me.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
he was,
that a
oh yeah,
fight-
of course.
Fuck
he
with
was
me, and
fucking-
I'm pissed.
I-
I'm fucking pissed about it.
Yeah, he was trying to do
You
that
know?
on purpose.
What'd you
I
say,
don't-
Meg?
I don't think that a fight with Dot and Days would have been the worst thing for Dot's game because Days had already started with so many people in the game at this point that it was only making the target on his back grow
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Dot would have thrown Days' name and then just let it ride and let Days be
Right.
pissed about
Would've
it
been.
without Dot like retaliating back at him,
Yeah.
you would have been fine.
Yeah, I
Both
agree.
these guys.
I agree. I
Both
do
these
agree. I do agree. Also, so that y'all should know, because I'm hearing this a lot, a couple places, I did not throw that challenge with DeLeon in it.
Bullshit.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I
No
100% did not. 100%
No
did not.
way.
Bullshit.
Did not at
That
all.
was. It
Like,
looks
come on.
so.
I mean, I brought this
Like,
up
I mean,
that
Literally
you did
stood
since you
there.
did
It's
it.
like about
I mean,
some,
look,
oh no.
I mean,
oh no.
if you watch, I mean, it's an organic. The cup
God.
shifts.
God,
But
the
not
minute-
shift the cup.
I had
But the minute
students
Dillion
on
messed
Zoom.
up, you
I
were
know
like,
when
"Oh,
somebody
no."
does something on purpose. I work with kids.
Oh my God.
Again, I would understand why you would think that. I have no reason to get up here and lie.
I understand.
I was being told left and right, inside the game and outside the game, throw the match. So I did going into the match thinking, yo, I could throw it if I want to and if I need to. But I didn't need to. Like, it never even got to that because DeLeon got eliminated in like 10 seconds. And that was right after. Like, I didn't need
That sucks for him.
I'm-
I
so-
did
so-
not
so-
know
so,
that he was
I'm
in
not-
that
so
battle.
I'm not-
Convince me
I'm not
that you
saying
didn't throw that.
I'm not saying I
refuse.
wouldn't have thrown it. I'm just
finna
saying
say-
I didn't throw it because I didn't need to.
I'm finna do like Billy
Oh,
on
okay,
it.
okay,
You
okay.
did
Cool,
throw
cool.
it, Dot. You threw it. That's what you
Wait,
did.
so did you not drop?
All right,
these
well,
pieces?
shoot. Go ahead and tell me more about myself. Shit.
So you didn't drop it on purpose because it was so. It's just so funny because
It
Dillion
looks
dropped.
like you were
and then you were
standing
like, "Oh my
still,
God."
and you could have caught it.
Are you
Okay.
pussy popping out of this?
Oh
throwing
my
ordeal?
God. Y'all need to like, yo.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe.
So like, yes,
I
I mean,
refuse.
I'm just telling the truth. I would have, but I didn't. Yo, the pussy popping out of the conversation, yo.
that was
like,
hilarious.
Don't get me started because this
Did
is
she
what Q,
text back with the definition?
this is what
I think she
Q
did.
does best. This is what Q
Yeah.
does best. Whenever she likes to call people out,
Yeah.
but whenever somebody calls her out for something, and in my opinion, I knew that she was wrong because she was like, when did I leak stuff? And I told her how she was leaking stuff. She just like gets rambunctious and she uses phrases like pussy popping out of the conversation to to mask the fact that I'm actually making sense and like you're contradicting yourself.
She
know what
said
I'm
that
saying?
it means that you were dancing
Yeah.
around the
There we go. Yeah.
conversation.
Oh, okay.
Right. So like,
Oh wait, that's not what I.
I
thought.
was just saying, I still went caught
yeah,
up.
she-
Pussy
so-
That's not what that means.
so
Yeah.
it was because
Yeah,
So
it's
she lied
because
to Kelsey. Her conversation with Kelsey about how she said Kelsey was sneaky and she'd throw her ass in a second. That was not everything she told Kelsey was not. That was not how the conversation went. That was not true. Just throwing that out there.
yeah.
No, I
because-
remember hearing that episode. I understand.
I mean, very clearly, Megan Dazed had told the entire group. I'm pretty sure, like, yo, Q, you're leaking information. You told the other side things that we had in personal conversations. So everybody already knew that people were saying that. And then I come back and I'm like, yo, Q, we know that you're doing this thing. And she's like, what did I do? What did I do? And I'm like, I don't need to tell you because Meg and Days just like literally yesterday said what you did. So like, I'm not trying to argue it. I'm
Well,
not.
I mean, Days was
I'm not trying to
wrong.
argue with you because you're.
I just say
you're
they
better-
lie.
you're- Lied about what?
What
They
she
just
did.
wrong 99% of the time.
These made no sense.
All
This
right.
is
Well,
so funny.
whatever. But yeah, so I was just like, yo, I'm not about to start arguing with you because you're a better arguer than me. Like, I'm just gonna make myself look stupid. So she was trying to make me look stupid on me.
Oh, yeah.
picking up and being like,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, it doesn't make you a good debater just because you can make fun of somebody. Like, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're right because you have a funny catchphrase. You know what I mean?
But I have a
Like,
question.
You
though,
you were playing both sides. You were fucking around with the Days Fan Guy Alliance, and then you were going around telling Kelsey all the secrets from the Days Fan Guy Alliance. You know what I'm
She didn't
saying?
tell
Like,
all
but
the
then, so because she told some of the secrets, it's okay.
She told her the part that concerned.
Like, come on, this
So
She
that's
told
why-
Kelsey the part
stop.
that concerned
This-
her. And would
I-
you blame
I
her
know-
though? She was at the bottom. She was in the basement. So would you blame her to just go next door?
It was definitely an option for her, but it doesn't change the fact that she was playing both sides.
No,
She-
you're both.
She
You're both
she had
right.
a good reason to do it, but she still did it. But I mean, if you're gonna play both sides, don't come talking about my character or Meg's character or like, yo, because you're playing Kelsey. Like, you're over here playing Treasure, talking about me and Treasure are cool, but I'm gonna throw you in because I think you can beat Dot. Like come on, man. Like,
She's playing
Like,
the game.
right though.
Playing the
Q,
game.
I just Q is playing everyone, and then she want to be like, y'all aren't playing an honest game. This is y'all's flaws. But it's like, but you're lying. But you're lying to everyone. Like, what are we even talking about here? Shit is kind of wild. It's wild to me, man.
I have to wind this down. This was only supposed to be 30 minutes, but you guys,
damn.
for
I
not
don't
liking
know what to say.
rambunctious people, this has been
I
the
don't know
most
what to say,
rambunctious
damn it.
interview.
I'm feeling
You
pretty
should have made your
confrontational right now.
confessionals.
Yeah, I
You should
should
have
have.
made your
I
confessional.
should have, man. But my AC was out and it was summertime in Texas, and I
Oh,
was over
hell
this
no.
shit.
Uh-uh.
Bro, y'all try playing the game with Mike, Fan Guy, DeLeon, and Q. That shit is tough.
I played a game with DeLeon and Q.
Well, take the rest of them
Not
too.
together.
That
Fan
shit is like
Guy.
it's nonstop. Shit is
I mean, that's my
nonstop, bro.
soulmate and my wife though, so I'm fine.
All right, if you can do it, go ahead and do it, man.
Any final
I-
questions for Dot and Meg?
I had some, but like I feel like we
Forgot.
kind of hashed it all at this point.
I think Dot said everything.
Yeah.
Hey, stop hating on me, man. I seen the hate. I seen the hate on the podcast. I watched this shit.
Oh, it's not hating, it's the truth, honey.
Stop hating on your boy.
It's the truth.
Well, the
Hey,
thing
now,
is-
now you know the truth. Now you know.
No, okay. I hear all the like you telling the truth is really good. It's just I would still have voted for Days. I would still have done different things. So I still will agree with what I said earlier, but I understand where you're coming from now more than before. That's important to me.
I just want to be understood, man. It's kind of weird going through all the comments, be like, "What the fuck was that? Was that thinking?"
I mean,
Like,
yeah, in the
what was
game,
on Dot's mind? Like, bro,
Dot, I think you
No,
are
don't
the
worry
villain
about
of the
what the fuck I was
season,
saying.
Dot.
Don't worry about
I
it.
You
think
are the
you
villain of the season.
Don't worry about me.
Somehow Dot was the villain of the season.
It was
Somehow.
supposed to be Days, but I think it's you.
It wasn't. Yeah, it turned out to be Dot more than Days at this point.
I watched the podcast too, and I think your assessment of me has been pretty correct.
For sure.
Being mean to me. I need to leave me alone.
Not trying.
You
to-
deserve
Leave
it,
Dot
okay?
You
alone.
back flipping back and forth,
I
Dot.
love you. You know
What
you're
back
my
and-
bro, like
It's just the
forever.
gameplay was not it.
If I was
Hey.
at home, I would
Hey,
have my
man.
Team Cleaners t-shirt on too, Dot. Don't worry. I love
Yeah.
you tremendously. But
Oh,
you
that's-
deserve
that's
a
the
little hate
Cleaners.
right now.
Hey, man, it's one of those
Did you
things.
notice
it's
that
one-
every time they wear that shirt, they get swept? Like, did you notice that, Alex?
Hey, nigga, ain't nobody asked you. Ain't nobody asked you, right?
Stop.
Nobody asked you.
Nick, don't put me
Listen,
in the game
I'd
with
rather
Meg or
watch-
Dot. They're gonna get me out.
Hey,
I watched
real talk though. Real talk though. It's one of
What's
those
up?
things, and like Q makes some of these moves, Fan Guy makes some of these moves. It's one of those moves where like, if it works, you're a genius. But if it doesn't
If it
work, then
doesn't,
you're
you're right.
If it doesn't work, you're a fucking idiot.
That's
You're right.
true.
You know.
I mean,
So-
if your move worked and Meg voted for Days, like if you voted for Meg and Meg voted for Days and no one had a problem with it, then it's a genius
yeah,
move.
I would have been.
It
Yeah, I would have
would've.
been fine. I would
It just didn't happen
under the
that
radar.
way. Yeah, it just didn't happen that way. And also, it's not the best option in that situation to go
Right,
not
right.
Days. Like I just would have went for Days at that point, right?
Yeah, now,
But I understand. I understand.
And now everybody try to cancel me. I'm getting death threats in my DMs and shit.
Please.
I hope not. I hope
They
not.
bullied by 12-year-olds.
That's
Oh,
not cool.
They
Don't do
got
that.
bullied by
Not at
12-year-olds.
all.
Don't do
Not
that,
at-
folks.
Not at all. Not at all.
That'd be
It's all-
crazy.
It's all love. I still got. There's still some Dot fans out there. I think I lost some.
You might have lost some,
I
but
lost some, but I'll be back. I'll be back.
yeah, you will. You definitely will.
Don't mean
Sixth
in the more
place.
seasons. I'm just
Again.
learning. I'm just learning a little bit more each season. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm
So
doing.
the four of us, Big Brothers,
just
we're gonna do Big Brother.
shoot. I'm here.
Oh, it would be a chaotic ass house. I know that for sure.
Don't worry, yo. Just don't cast me any more shows with Q, man. I can't take the
No,
mental
please do
warfare.
it. Please do
I can't
it.
take the
Do
verbal
it.
abuse. I
Please
can't take the
do
verbal
it.
abuse, man.
I want
Alright,
to.
It's enough
I
to
want
be
to every single
clapping.
season. I want to.
Before I even did this podcast, I had to make sure that Q wasn't gonna be here, just because I'm too scared, man. I just can't. If I get eliminated by Q one more
You're too
time,
powerful.
y'all
Too
gotta, like,
powerful.
Well, if I do
watch
a
out for me,
reunion,
bro.
you guys better show up.
I was like, I'm not doing that.
I won't show the camera. I can't look her in the eye, man. It's
Oh my god.
it hurts.
Look
It
at
hurts.
look at somewhere else on the screen.
It hurts. So what are y'all's predictions? Who do y'all think who's the one?
That win.
Good question.
who's gonna
First
win it
of all, this
I'm
cast
cheering
is so
for
unpredictable.
Kelsey, my first wife.
You think Kelsey?
Kelsey,
Ah, man. She ain't got the stomach for this shit, man.
I mean,
She's
she's
coming
still
for
in
this
the
shit.
game. She's still in the game.
Or
so I don't know.
Treasure is a good
Yeah,
one. But
yeah.
she's neutral.
Man, if I could win a damn competition, I might have made a little bit further too. But shit, you got to be able to win competitions to win
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
I didn't win
Now
a
you-
damn
yeah.
thing.
Honestly, about my elimination competition though.
What happened?
I just have to say about the competition that got me in Dazed Eliminated. We played against two people who played online isolation, and the point of that game was to talk to each other and get to know each other. So they had a leg up in that competition because they were more likely to get the questions correct about the other isolation people in the game. I don't think that, Treasure said, oh, well, we actually tried to get to know each other. Our chats were short. We did not have isolation link chats.
Yeah, we did not.
So there's
no.
no way. And this game too, though, there's no way that they could have spent enough time in conversations to truly get to know each other. DeLeon, maybe, because he talked a lot of personal. We would just talk to each other when we were in chats. We didn't really strategize. But the other two, we did talk a lot of game. They never asked me personal questions about me or tried to get to know me during our conversations. So I just feel like they had a leg up in that competition. If it was a competition like the one that Treasure and Dot played after me, or any of these flash games or whatever, I would have smoked the both of them.
Woo!
Just throwing that out.
Nick,
there.
you killed me with the measurements.
Pretty good at
You should have gave me measurements, man.
Yes,
That was
but
fucked up.
I was the leader in that
Oh,
2022
measure?
game that she won. I won it too.
Nick, I needed them points, bro. I needed them points, man. You just give a dog a bone. Shit. Come on, man. Come on.
Didn't you say it was 16-6? That's the whole dog's bag.
Bro, I need everything, man. I need some of Treasure's points too. Help your boy out. Fuck.
Treasure was getting random shit. Arizona, what the hell? I would have never gotten Arizona. I
that
don't
was a
know.
hard one.
How
I
does
need
she?
to watch this. Don't say the answers. I just want to know what it is.
Sorry.
I'll go watch, see if I'm smart.
Also didn't make the cut, but I did leave the game with grace.
Why do you keep cutting him out, Nick?
Oh, because he's editing him as a villain.
He'll have an hour and a half to fucking edit things, which is already too long.
I'm already getting pushed out of the show, so it don't matter. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I don't want to go out the way I went out last time. I was like, Treasure, I just want you to know you was a great competitor. If I were to go out to anybody, I'm glad that it's you. All this.
No, Nick, you really give him a villain edit. You
bro, you make me look like I'm just a stupid asshole over
Okay.
here, making bad decisions. And
in a show you did seem like
in that round,
wrong.
you should have done your confessionals and confessionals
I
and
should've.
explained
I
yourself.
should have. Another regret of mine.
it's okay.
It's all right. Your boy learning.
Yeah, we'll see you
We're
again.
almost done because I'm sitting in the dark and I don't know where my children are.
All right, so we shall end it there. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this rambunctious podcast. And I would say that you should all be nicer to Dot, but he voted for Chris Brown over us earlier, so don't be nice.
I'm gonna be nice to Dot.
we will
because he
end
voted
it
for
there.
Chris Brown.
No.
If you think you can run it,